Okay, great. Let's get started.
All right, well, we have a quorum, so let's call the public session of the OpenJS Foundation Board to order, please.
Great, thank you. Welcome, everybody. Today is Friday, July 26th, and we are in the public session of the board meeting here. I would like to provide a quick update on the board directory. One of the pieces of news that happened in the past month since the last time we had a board meeting was that we now have the second community director in place. So we are welcoming Michael Dawson. And we would also, on the board here, like to thank the outgoing interim community directors, Tracy Hines and Dave Methvin, for their contributions. On the screen now, we have the 2019 meeting schedule. We meet generally on the fourth Friday of the month. So August 23rd will be the next meeting, and then September 27th, October 25th, and November 22nd. And here we have the agenda for the meeting today. The first thing, we will approve the minutes from the last meeting. I will give an update on the event and then some news on the transition, the merger of the two organizations. Chris Borchers will give an update on what's happening on the CPC, and then Rachel Romoff will give an update on marketing. Does anybody have anything to add to the agenda?
I think we're good to go.
Okay, great. Okay, first off, I would like to welcome our newest members. Sauce Labs and Vincent have both joined as silver members. So welcome to the foundation, and thank you for being a part of this organization. And the first order of business for today is to approve the public meeting minutes from the June 21st session of the Board of Directors. Do we have a motion to adopt?
Yes, motion to adopt the minutes.
Great. Second. Thank you, Chris. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
Do we have any opposed? Do we have any abstains?
I abstain, having not attended the meeting.
Thank you. Okay, the motion carries. Okay, so first, I will give an update on where we are with the big event with Node.js, Node+JS Interactive 2019. Again, we are planning to do this December 10th through 12th. It will be in Montreal. The CFP closed in the past month, and the program committee is hard at work reviewing the sessions that have been submitted. We had a good response this year, and we are looking forward to sending out notifications sometime next week. And then after about a week or so, we will then announce the schedule of folks who have accepted their sessions. And we are also, as a reminder, looking at a 2020 event, continuing to focus on Canada. And thank you as well to our sponsors so far. We have Red Hat, Sentry, and Linode. If your organization is interested in sponsoring, please do reach out. We would be very happy to have you. Okay, I'll give a brief update here on where we are with the merger of the two organizations. Basically, this is something which is actively ongoing. Many of these things are happening behind the scenes, but the goal is to be fully integrated here following the merger earlier this year. We want to make sure that things are functioning smoothly on the back end. Really the biggest thing that we have going on right now is that the CPC is operating regularly, and they're meeting alternating between 12 p.m. Eastern and 2 p.m. Eastern on Tuesdays. If you do not have access to that calendar, or if you don't know when those meetings are, please go to the CPC's GitHub repo, and in the README, there's a link to the calendar. You can add it, and that will always be kept up to date. We're also working on some operational consolidation as well at the back end, again, attempting to streamline things for members. We are in the process right now of working on a straightforward list of the technical and marketing services that are available for projects. And we are also working on defining the various trademark and other legal policies that that will be coming out from the merged organization, which then will lead to guidance to the projects and how to implement those. Does anybody have any questions? Okay. I would also note for anybody who's watching on the live stream, we have a new page on the openjsf.org website called Collaboration. And this came out of discussions on the CPC about how, as a foundation, we have some centralized communication channels, which are in addition to what the projects themselves use on a day-to-day basis. And we want this to be very discoverable, to make it easy for anybody to participate, anybody to join and see what's going on. If you are not part of the discussions, or if you're not part of our Slack workspace, or if you're not on the mailing lists, this is the place to go in order to find information on how to participate and how to get involved. I would also note that if you are a project who does need a mailing list separate from the foundation mailing lists, please reach out to us. This is something that we can help with. And in general, if there are questions about this, you can reach out to operations@openjsf.org, and we'll be able to get back to you on that. Okay, let's move on to CPC update. Chris, would you like to talk to us about what's going on in the CPC?
Yeah, thanks, Brian. So yeah, just a brief update on a few of the conversations that are continuing in the CPC. As mentioned earlier, Michael Dawson is the latest community rep to the board. So once again, welcome, Michael. So one of the a recent discussion that was started is the governance details around regular CPC members. So folks that are associated with our projects that would like to be regular is the term we use, CPC members. And some of the things that we're just discussing that haven't been clearly defined yet are things like when they send a pull request to join the CPC, how long does that have to be open? Or the different repos or mailing lists they need to be added to, and just a lot of like administrivia. And so we are having that discussion now, and we'll define some more of those processes for those of you that are looking to join as regular CPC members to improve that experience of onboarding and offboarding those members. The other big item going on is defining the project onboarding process. So we've been working through the proposal staging process, and now the board has reviewed the recent proposal, and there haven't been any objections to that. So we should be moving that to stage 3, which is complete shortly. And so as part of this process, the architect project and MoCA have decided to sort of dog food that process and start working through it to better understand what new projects will go through and try to help ease that process for those new projects. So we thank those projects. The final thing, just a really quick note, is that their proposal to establish an OpenJS travel fund has been started. This is still very early draft to be moved to stage 0. And so the idea there is most of everyone should be familiar with the Node.js project's travel fund. The idea here is to expand and or establish a foundation-wide travel fund for projects. So that is very early, but all of these items, those links are being tracked in the GitHub repo issue tracker for the cross-project console. And that's it from me.
Okay, thank you. Does anybody have any questions for Chris? Okay, thanks, Chris. And let's move on to the marketing update. Rachel, you should have control. Oh, here, I can Oh, there we go.
Is it working now?
Yep.
Okay, there we go. Awesome. So just a brief call out to Node.js Interactive. We will be announcing the schedule around the week of August 5th, so stay tuned there. A quick snapshot of content and thought leadership initiatives. For those who don't know, we do have an OpenJS Foundation blog up and running, and we do have a few pieces of content up there. So if you haven't already, please go check it out. So we'll start to, report out on metrics around the OpenJS Foundation blog. We do have a baseline of 93 views for the homepage, and I'm assuming that's going to go up. The Node blog continues to go up. The Node collection blog also continues to go up. I do foresee that the Node.js collection blog will go up a little bit more here in the next several weeks, as we do have some new guidelines on how to submit content to the collection coming out. So stay tuned for that. In addition, we do have monthly AMAs that we are working on. So we're gathering content and speakers for those. So keep your eyes open for those exciting things. For the OpenJS Foundation social media, at current, we're just on Twitter, but we will be expanding we're also on YouTube, but for traditional kind of social media stuff. So all of our impressions and our engagements are up. Our audience growth is relatively flat. I want to say we are around, we lost a few followers, but it's relatively flat. So nothing major to report there.
What, now that we're multiple projects, are we tracking all of the social media accounts associated with the individual projects, or is this just the OpenJS related accounts?
So this right now, what you're looking at is OpenJS Foundation. And I think, as we kind of continue the transition, those are conversations that we'll need to figure out as far as how we do that reporting. So it's a really good question, and certainly something that we'll need further discussion on, how we report those metrics out.
Totally. I wasn't suggesting the right way. I was just curious what accounts it was actually reflecting.
For sure. So this right here is OpenJS Foundation. On the next slide, however, you will see a group of, a group report for Node. So this is what a group report would look like. It includes Twitter, Facebook, and LinkedIn. Regarding the Node project, things are relatively, things are on a slight uptick for both Twitter and Facebook. And we continue to get a lot of really good traction on LinkedIn, which is great to see.
I mean, the OpenJSF account on Twitter is only 3 months old, March to 4 months old. So that's very, very healthy numbers for a new account from the launch, building awareness of the new brand. Like that's very healthy numbers.
Yeah, I tend to agree with you. I think it's really awesome to see just the engagement, lots of likes and retweets and things like that. So we'll just continue to build that, and so we're excited to see that. I did want to call out on YouTube specifically for the Node.js project is in previous months, it's been really flat or down. And since we've started pushing more of the playlists, we are seeing a slight uptick. I mean, definitely arrows are going the right way versus down. So that's also really good to see. Are there any questions on this? Awesome. That's all I have.
Okay, great. That's the end of our content for today. Does anybody have any questions or anything else they'd like to add?
I have one question for Rachel, which is, do we know what caused the large uptick in LinkedIn followership?
It is a good question. And the one thing that I can imagine is that we've been posting more to it. So just slightly more, nothing crazy. But, you know, instead of maybe once or twice, you know, a week, just kind of going a little bit, you know, heavier on the posting. But aside from that, no, it's, I don't know if folks are, you know, just preferring LinkedIn to Twitter at this point, but it's something that we're gonna keep looking at because it is peculiar to me.
How recent was that uptick? Sorry, I missed that.
No, it's okay. So let me go.
13th, things changed.
Right, okay. There just has been some discussions about like who are the moderators and who have access to like let people in. So I don't know if that has any effect, but we could try.
Let me go in and explore that a little bit, because you're right. Now this report specifically on, I know that was a specific group that you're referring to. So this doesn't necessarily report on that, but there could be some cross like stuff going on. But that's it's quite a large jump.
And this is followers gained by day. So on the 10th of June, we were gaining about 400 followers a day. And by the 15th of June, we were gaining about 1,000 followers a day.
Right.
That's a big difference.
Yeah, that's certainly something that we'll go back and I'm happy to go back and report on. Again, I think it's because we just posted a little bit more, which sounds like a pretty basic explanation. But again, happy to go in and double check and report back.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, any other questions for Rachel? All right, board, do we have anything else to discuss before we close for the day? Okay, very good. I believe that we can call this meeting to a close. Todd?
Okay, let's officially call to a close the public session of the OpenJS Foundation board meeting. Thank you all for attending. Thank you, staff, for putting on such a good board meeting for us. So thank you again.
You're very welcome.